We started talking about sales and we talked a little bit about rentals. We'll come back to that, inshallah. I want to review a little bit of what we did talk about, though. So we said the sales has three integrals, which are the dealer, the subject of the deal or the sale, and uh the contract itself, which is the words, statements, or the agreement. And we said that it's possible to say there are six integrals for a sale if we multiply each one of these by two. And we say that the dealer is the seller and the buyer, and the subject is the item and the price, and the contract is the proposal and the acceptance. Then there's six integrals for a sale. Either way of those breakdowns is valid. And we talked about the or some of the conditions for each one of these. The conditions. When it comes to the dealer has to be an owner, the owner of what he's dealing with, or have authority, and needs to be pubescent, according to Ash-Shafi'i. So according to Ash-Shafi'i, it's not valid for the guardian to give the prepubescent child permission to transact. It won't be valid until he reaches puberty. And according to Imam Ahmed, it is valid for the guardian to give the prepubescent child permission to transact. So then, according to that, you can give your child who is 9, 10, 11 years old, give him money, send him to the store. That's going to be valid according to Ahmed, not according to Ash-Shafi'i. Or, for example, you go somewhere and they put a child at the register. Yani, he has permission. Most likely, that's how he got there. He didn't sneak there. Probably didn't sneak there and start operating the store without permission. So according to Ahmed, this is valid. And also, this dealer needs to be sane. Yes. And there's other conditions too. Now we're just keeping it brief and reviewing. And what are some of the conditions for the subject, the item or the price? Such as that it is pure, not najasa. So you cannot sell alcohol because alcohol is najasa. You cannot sell a dog. You cannot sell a dog because a dog is najasa. And there's a hadith that naha Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam an thamani al-kalb. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam forbade the price of a dog. And you cannot sell blood. Like maybe there's what they call Red Cross, and they tell you, maybe I don't know if they still do it or not, but I think they give you a gift for your blood. You donate blood, and they give you some money. So if that's a sale, it's not a valid sale. A gift is a different type of deal, or donations is a different type of deal. But a sale, you cannot sell blood. You cannot sell the manure, horse manure, or cow manure. You cannot sell the also the rubbing alcohol because it's khamr, it's alcohol. So that's najasa. How do you acquire things that are filthy? You want to acquire it because you want to use it, for example, for something. Like you're a farmer and the manure is useful for you. But you're a Muslim who fears Allah and you want all your money to be halal and all your business and transactions to be halal. So what do? You don't buy the manure, you do something else. You go around it. Like you say to the person, how much do you want for a crate of manure? Then he'll say to you, 20, for example. So you say to him, okay, I want a crate of manure. So he prepares it for you. Then you say to him, sell me the crate for 20 and give me the manure inside for free. So don't be afraid of him being surprised or thinking that you're weird. That's fine. Doesn't matter what he thinks. It's more important that your deal is valid than his opinion of you. That's why Allah says in the Quran, Jaza'am bima kanu ya'malun. Reward for what they used to do. Reward for what they used to go through. What those believers used to go through to obey Allah. As they say, jumping through hoops, leaping over fire, doing all kinds of things just to get a halal result. Allah will reward you for that. So maybe that person will say, huh? So you say clearly, yes, sell me the crate for 20 and give me the manure inside for free. So what he's going to do, most likely he's just going to say, okay, because he's getting his money anyway. For him, it's all the same. You're being weird. But it's not the same. Likewise, you want a dog for some reason to take care of your sheep or to guard your house, then you don't buy the dog, you acquire the dog somehow. Okay, so also, what's another case we talked about here? Like you want to slaughter an animal, and the one who's selling the animal sells it to you by weight while it's alive. He tells you, for example, the chicken, you want the chicken? I sell the chicken for $1 per kilo while it's alive. I will put it in the scale. However many kilos comes up, that's how many dollars you're going to pay me. So you cannot agree to that because what contributes to the weight is the najasa in the body of the animal, the blood, the feces, the urine, and any other najasa that's in his body contributes to his weight. So you cannot agree to this. So what do? You go around it, such as you say to him, no, I won't buy it by the weight. Why don't you just name a price for the chicken and I'll buy it from you? Or what do? Which is very close to what I just told you. You let him weigh it, and he weighs it, and then he's going to tell you how much it costs. Then you don't agree to that because he is basing that price on the weight, which includes the najasa. So you don't agree to that. Rather, you make a new proposal. You just say to him, okay, this is the price you want? He says, yes. You say to him, sell me this chicken for this price, not the weight. Don't sell it to me. I don't care about the weight. This the price you want for this chicken? Sell me this chicken for this much. That's it. Then he sells it to you for that much. He got what he wanted, and you avoided invalidating your sale. So one of the conditions of the subject is that it is pure. And another is that it is useful, religiously useful, religiously. Yani, what's not a religious use? What's not religiously useful? The smell of the apple. The smell of the apple. Can you rent an apple from someone so you can sniff it? I'm talking about renting here, but even though I'm talking about renting, but I'm giving you an example of usefulness. When you hear these examples will help you in different cases. Can you rent an apple so you can sniff it? No, religiously, this is not beneficial, not useful. You cannot spend your money for this. The religion has barred you. Or what else? Like wind and string instruments, guitars and flutes and pianos, violins. Horns, can you buy those? No. Someone might say, but um, they're useful. I listen to them and enjoy their sound. So we're going to say, but that sound is haram. So that's not a religiously recognized use. That's not religiously recognized benefit. So you cannot spend your money on that. Or burnt bread. Burnt bread. Can you buy burnt bread? No. Why not? Because it's useless. What you going to do with it? If you even try to eat it, you're going to give up. If you ever tried to eat burnt bread before, you burnt your toast and then you said, oh, I'm going to still eat it. I don't want to waste it. And then you take one bite into your burnt toast. You say, ah, khalas. It's wasted already. So you cannot spend your money on that burnt bread. That's haram. Not valid. And also, it has to be money. It has to be money. Money means has monetary value religiously. So, what does not have monetary value, like one piece of rice or two pieces of rice only, one or two pieces of rice, or one or two pieces of corn only? This is not money religiously, so you cannot sell it. What you're going to do, you're going to get enough of it together. Get some more rice, two, three, four more pieces. Get some more corn, two, three, four more pieces, like that. Get something to you until you gather enough that it becomes money, meaning it becomes having monetary value. Then you can sell it. Also needs to be known. So you cannot uh, accept if someone says to you, I sell you one of these cars. You can't say, I accept. That's not valid. You have to say to him, which one? Or also, what's an example of unknown? Because remember, the subject is the item and the price. When I just told you, he says to you, I'll sell you one of my cars. This is the item being unknown. Also, same thing if the price is unknown. What if he says to you, I sell it to you for $1,000 cash or $2,000 credit? $1,000 cash or $2,000 credit. You cannot say, I accept, because now the price is unknown. Let me give you another example from renting. Because we started talking about sales, but really we're talking about deals more generally. I'm trying to stick to sales so that I don't jump all over the place. But sometimes I can bring you some things outside of sales from other deals here because it will make you understand. We're talking now about the item and the price being known. What if it's a rental? For example, how they were doing before Lyft and Uber, yani, in the United States, for example, not everywhere. How they used to do, you get into the cab or the taxi, you say to him where you want to go, and he does not tell you how much it's costing to get there. Rather, he turns his meter on and then he starts driving. And when you get to your destination, that's when you're finally going to know how much you need to pay. And if for some reason you get stopped in the street, if there's slow traffic or traffic jam or like this, then his meter's still going to be running and the price going higher and higher. You don't know how much you're going to pay in the end. This is not valid. That's not valid. As for the way they do Uber and Lyft, it's valid. But this old way, alhamdulillah, that it is, looks like it has been destroyed. This industry here, this taxi cab industry with this meter way like that, looks like it's been obliterated, destroyed by Uber and Lyft. You can take a taxi not under the way I just described it, though. If the taxi means you don't know how much you're going to pay until you get there, then you cannot do it. No, you can't do it like that. Because what's that's like? That's like you say to the person in the taxi. He says, "Where are you going?" And you say to him, "Start driving. I'll let you know when we get there." Would he accept? He would not accept. He would never accept. He'd think you're being silly. It's the same exact thing. Why you can do it, I can't do it. If I ask you how much it's going to cost, you're going to tell me, "I'll let you know when we get there." So how come I can't tell you, "Start driving, I'll let you know when we get there"? It's the same on both sides. Here, the dealer, which you must remember, is that the dealer and the seller and the buyer are really equal. In a sense, they're not equal, like in the sense that the boss is going to say to you, "Do this, do that. Don't do this, don't do that." Okay. You, the employee, you're not going to say to the boss, "I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that." No, not in that way they are equal, but they are equal in the meaning that they are both dealers. They have the same conditions. With this meaning, they are equal. So each one needs to know his price. So basically, in the case of the taxi, the seller is the taxi driver, meaning he's the one being hired. He's the employee, the taxi driver. Well, I said he's the seller. Okay, the buyer is the rider. So the rider here, he's like the boss because he's paying. The boss is the one who pays. So can can the employee say to his boss, "I'm going to tell you how much it costs when we get there"? It's not valid religiously. Just like the boss not going to be able to say to the driver, "Start driving. I'll let you know when we're there when we get there." They are equal in this. So both of them need to be known. Yani, it's unfair when the taxi driver knows the destination and the one who's getting the ride does not know the price. And if you were to reverse that, that would be the one who's getting the ride. That would be the taxi driver not knowing the destination, while the one who's getting the ride knows the destination. What if they don't know the destination or the price? Then for sure it's not valid. Yani, they both need to know the destination and the price, meaning the job. They both need to know the job and the price. The job is take me to such and such location. The price is it's going to cost you this much, and that's it. Yeah, when I was overseas, I saw that there was basically a standard price for anywhere you wanted to go. You get in the car, you give the guy money and tell him where you want to go. Now, you know how much is being paid. In fact, usually you're just going to pay him as soon as you get in the car, and he knows where he's going, and then that's it. Fair and square deal. That's valid. Okay. So amongst the conditions for the subject is that the subject is pure, that the subject is actually money, meaning has monetary value, that it is religiously useful, that it is known, and we were talking about it according to some being seen. That it is seen. Uh Seen by whom? Seen by both dealers. The dealers, they have the same conditions. The dealers have the same conditions. Seller and the buyer, they both have to see it. Ah, so we talked about that last time about if you have to see the item or not, when you don't have to see the item. I'll come back to that in a moment, inshallah. And uh there's still some more conditions for the subject. Question. So now if I'm in a taxi, is it possible to ask the driver to say an estimate or how much the ride will cost, or it has to be precise? Because it's still going to be unknown. Estimate is not known, it has to be known. But according to the Hanafis, it is valid to deal with the kuffar in the kafir land. If you're in the kafir land and who you're dealing with is a kafir, then you can deal with them the way they deal if you, as the Muslim, get the profit, the benefit. Meaning, for example, you're dealing with him like this in this unknown way, but winds up to be cheaper for you. If you were to do it in a known way, it's going to be more expensive. If you did it in an unknown way, it's going to be cheaper. And you're in a kafir country dealing with a kafir who deals this way. Then, according to the Hanafis, permissible. So, not absolutely according to the Hanafis, not in a way that you lose, meaning there is really no advantage for you in dealing this way. Then it's not going to be permissible according to the Hanafis. And the contract, it has conditions like no unrelated words in between. Like you say to the person, sell this to me for such and such. And then before he says, I accept, he says, how are you and the kids? This makes the contract, the words of the contract, not valid. So if that happened, when you said to him, sell this to me for such and such, that's your proposal. And then he says, how are you and the kids? Then if you want, you answer and say, oh, we are good, alhamdulillah. Then repeat, because it's been invalidated. So say again, sell this to me for such and such. So that there's not between your proposal and his acceptance any unrelated words. Unrelated words that give the impression of being not involved in the contract. And don't forget, either buyer or seller, either dealer can make the proposal or the acceptance. Whichever one makes the proposal, the other one does the acceptance. Also, very important one here. The proposal and the acceptance match. They match. Means what? Means you cannot be doing a sale and he's doing a gift, or he's doing a gift and you want to do he's doing, a sale and you want to do a gift, for example. To him, he is selling something, not giving gifts. But for you, his deals are not valid and you want what he has. So you want to give him a gift and take what he has as a gift. Then there's no way to say, for example, if he says to you, I sell this to you for such and such, and then you say, I give you this such and such as a gift, and then you take what he's selling to you. This is invalid because the proposal and the acceptance are not matching. Okay. And last time we also talked about whether it's if there is a way to do a sale without words. Can you do a sale without words? And can you do a sale without seeing? So this is what we want to look at again. Is it possible to do a contract with no words and without seeing? So according to The strong Shafi'i school, the answer is no. No words and without seeing both of those? No, can't do it. So how can it be done? In order to know how this can be done, we need to break these two down, each one by one. So when it comes to no words in the contract, so no proposal verbalized and no verbalized acceptance, how can that be valid? Is valid by doing the deal normally. No words is valid according to some by doing the deal normally. Normally is like you take your stuff to the counter, you put it there. He looks at it. He puts the price into the register. The number comes up. You look at it. You give him the money without any words. He takes the money from you. He gives you your change back if there is any without any words. And then you take the stuff and leave. This is valid according to those who said you can do a sale without words as long as you do it normally. Some said you don't need words for cheap things. So, according to that, you don't need words for buying a piece of bread, but you would need words for buying a house or a car. And what about seeing? Uh, so when it comes to seeing, then you have two cases: a specific thing and a described thing. A specific thing and a described thing. So the Shafi'i school is that specific thing must be seen. That's the strong Shafi'i school. Specific thing means the very thing that, for example, you took into your hand and put it uh, on the counter for the person to tell you how much. This one you are buying. You took it out of the refrigerator, you went into the store, put your hands on something, pulled it out of the refrigerator, pulled it off of the shelf, and took that thing and put it down for him to sell it to you. So now you are buying something specific. Then the strong Shafi'i school is that it must be seen. Is there any way to buy a specific thing without seeing it? Does this mean every time I go to the store, I need to see everything I buy? So, yeah, you do need to see everything you buy if you go to the store, except when uh, opening it will ruin it. If opening it will ruin it, then you can buy it as it is. What does that mean? Opening it will ruin it. Like, basically, you can't close it back. If you can open it, but you can't close it back, then Yani, and then as a result, it's not going to be sellable anymore. Once you opened it and there's no way to close it back, no one's going to buy it again, like a banana. So if you say to him, you sell bananas? Here, let me just unpeel these, see if I want one of them. This one, I don't want it. This one, here, let me open it. No, I don't want this one either. So can you do it? It's not going to let you. Will anybody buy it after you opened it? No. Or you had tuna fish in the can. Say, this fish or sardines. Let me open it and look inside. So once you open it, you can't close it back again. Then nobody's going to buy it after that if you don't buy it. So when it's like that, you can buy it as it is. And if it's defective, you can bring it back. But when it is something that you can see without ruining it or making it unsellable after that, then you need to look at it. Or if you don't look at it now, you won't be able to get your refund Then you need to look at it. Like you go to the pizza shop, you buy the pizza, and they just, when they say, okay, we're ready, and then they put the box there for you. Don't, if you want to follow the strong Shafi'i school, don't just take the box and leave. Open it and look at it and go. If it's fine, then you're going to go. And the strong, this is the strong saying. Other than the strong saying is that you can buy it without looking at it as long as you can return it if it's defective. So if you can't return it, if it's defective, then you need to, even according to them, you must see it before you go. Buying a described thing means that it's not present. It's not present. But it is described to you exactly, telling you everything that matters for the price. So if it's a computer, for example, it's going to tell you what kind is it? Is it Windows? Is it a Mac? Is it Linux? I don't know if those are Windows or not. And is it how wide is the screen? How many inches is the screen? What's the resolution? And is it touch screen or not a touch screen? And what's the memory? What's the RAM? And what's the ROM? And like this, the processing power, etc. Everything that matters to the price. If the color doesn't matter, then the color is not an issue. And like that for a car, if it's a described one, means they're going to tell you the make and model, the year, everything, the color, the interior, tell you about the engine, everything that matters for the price. How's the steering? Is it power steering? Is what? Is it all the car stuff? The people who know about cars know about. Then whatever contributes to the price needs to be mentioned. So you might have a question. So the described thing, you don't have to see it? Well, the answer is that you're going to see it when it gets delivered to you. And if it does not fit the descriptions that you agreed upon, then it's defective and you can take it back. You can cancel that sale. Or if you want, you can accept it with its defect. Let me mention one more thing for you before we stop. Under the subject, one of the conditions of the subject is that it is what? Existing. Important here. Very important. It must be existing. It is not valid to buy what does not exist. Like someone says, here, we have blueprints. We're going to build the building here. And we're already selling apartments. We're selling condos for the building that we're going to build in the future. Would you like to buy one of those condos? You can pay us now. When the building is done, it'll be yours. You're going to say, ha, I have learned my religion, and this is not valid. I advise you not to deal this way. You are doing invalid sale. What's another example? Here's a common example of buying something that does not exist. You go into the restaurant, you order your meal. They need to prepare it. Okay, then you pay for it, and they didn't prepare it yet. Now, if you stay there until they prepare it, then there's no problem. Don't leave out the store. Then there's no problem. But if you pay the money and then you leave, like you say, okay, I'll be back. I'm going to go sit in my car, or I'm going to just run around the corner while you fix the meal. Then this is invalid. The sale becomes invalid. Why? Because you have paid for something that does not exist. Why does it matter that you're still there in the store if you can't pay for something that doesn't exist? Because if you're still in the store, then the sale is still in effect. So it's okay that you gave him the money as long as you stayed there. You gave him the money, Yani, because you could give him the money now, you can give him the money later. You're still there. Your sale is still in effect. So there's no problem here. Then they're going to go prepare your meal and then bring it to you. So if you want to pay for the meal before you get it, Yani, before it's even existing, I mean, then do not leave the store so that you stay in the same session until it's done. Wallahu a'lam. Allah knows best. Any question here? You said, so auction is not valid since you don't know what the price will be. No, auction is valid because you're going to agree on the price. Auction is valid. You're going to agree on the price. So he's going to say 5. Yeah, like bidding. Yeah, that's okay. So someone says, I'll buy it for 5. And then he says, anyone else? And someone says, I'll buy it for 7. And then the price keeps going up. Then someone says, I'll buy it for 15. Then he says, anyone else? Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? Sold for 15. So this is a known price here. What is haram when it comes to an auction is for the auctioneer to have someone in the audience working with him, just saying prices to make other people bid higher. That's haram. That's cheating. So you are welcome. Now we are moving right along here in some of the basics pertaining to deals. Canceling a sale. Is it valid? Can it be done? Yes, it can. Can it be done? Yes, it can be done, canceling the sale. How so? According to rules. There are 3 ways you can cancel a sale. That is, 3 ways you can demand the cancellation. 3 cases in which you have a right to cancellation is what I mean. So the first one is the cancellation of the session. Cancellation of the session. The second one is the guarantee or warranty cancellation. And the third one is the cancellation for defect. These are the cases where you can force the cancellation of the sale. So let's look at the first one, the cancellation in the session. So first thing you need to understand is that as long as you are still in the same session with the one you're dealing with, then your sale is not concluded. But I'm not talking about the case of guarantee here. In the case of the guarantee or the warranty, then even if you're still in the same session, the time will start. The time of the warranty will start. Without looking at an issue of warranty or a guarantee, because that requires an agreement. So if there's no agreement, there's no warranty or guarantee. So based on that, we can assume that it doesn't exist. We can just assume that it doesn't exist with the meaning that there was no agreement for any guarantee or warranty. Then the session will be in effect as long as you and the one you're dealing with are still together. That's important for something that I mentioned for you, which is that what? You cannot buy something that does not exist. Okay, like what? Like a meal in the restaurant. So, wait a minute. What you mean I can't buy a meal in a restaurant? What I mean is You can't buy something that doesn't exist, like when you are just making the order. It doesn't exist yet. What you want, it doesn't exist yet. Like they have to prepare it for you and give it to you. Even if all the parts were cooked already, but they didn't prepare for you what you are buying. The very exact thing that you are buying is not there, not put together yet. You can't buy something that doesn't exist. Well, how can I buy a meal then like this if I can't buy something that doesn't exist? So the answer is as long as you're still in the same session, though, it's not going to be a case of buying something that doesn't exist. This means do not leave. When you go to the store, to the restaurant, and you order something, don't say, okay, I'm going to just stand outside. When you leave the store, you are leaving the session. When you leave the session ends. When the session ends, Yani, it's concluded. And if it concludes with you paying for something that doesn't exist, then this is not valid. But if you paid, when I say don't step outside, I'm saying if you paid already. If you paid already. If you just ordered it only and you didn't pay already, you can step outside. But if you paid, then don't step outside because stepping outside will conclude your contract. Then your contract will be concluded with you paying for what does not exist, which is not valid. Then you will have done an invalid sale. And that's haram, actually. Doing an invalid sale is haram. So you have to repent here. And look, if you don't learn, you won't even realize you committed a sin. There could be more than one sin here because when you step out and then the result is that you paid for something that doesn't exist, that's haram because it's not permissible to do an invalid sale. And then when you come back without renewing that sale, and then you take what you had paid for without renewing the sale, then that's haram too. Now you might ask, well, what is it that I should take then? Then you should take your money back. Because the sale was invalidated by you leaving after paying for something that doesn't exist. The sale was invalidated. So you're supposed to take your money back. But what you could do if you fell into that is simply renew the contract. You merely come back in and say, I just learned this judgment. So let me just renew this sale. That money I gave you when I came the first time, it's still mine because I invalidated the contract by stepping out before what I ordered was prepared. And thereby, I purchased something that doesn't exist, which is not valid. That makes the money that I gave you still mine. That money that I gave you, I am now giving it to you again for what I ordered from you. And don't worry, you don't have to give it back to me so I can give it to you. Just keep it there with you and then give me what I ordered. And now this is valid. Okay, I didn't talk about canceling yet. I just wanted to first clarify for you the meaning of the session still being valid. Had you not left the store, there wouldn't have been any problem. The session is still in effect, even though you paid, and then they're going to prepare what you want and give it to you, and then you take it and leave. And according to those who say you must see a specific item that you buy, then don't forget to open it up and look at it because they're going to bag it up for you, most likely. So don't forget to open it up and look at it before you leave. Then you will have valid sale. According to those who say you need to see the specific item that you are purchasing. So what is this talk about canceling the sale in the session? This is when you are allowed to break the sale because you're still in the same session. You basically changed your mind and you said to the person, I break this sale. I cancel this sale. And that's it. It doesn't it doesn't matter how long the session is. Like if the two of you were stranded on a plank of wood in the middle of the ocean, just the two of you, and you had something in your pocket and he had a waterproof watch, and you said, "Hey, I'll buy that waterproof watch off of you for this thing here." And then he says, "I accept." And then you exchanged right there. So you did a valid sale. And then long time passed, maybe days even. You're still on the plank of wood together. Since you never separated, then you never got out of the session. Then either one of you can cancel this sale. So, how would you break the session? By one of you getting off of that plank of wood and swimming away to such a distance that it's counted as breaking the session. Then you can hurry up and swim back before shark gets you or something else and get back on the wood, inshallah. And now the sale is final. Also, here, still here under the canceling while still in the same session, you can forfeit your right to cancel. You can say, I seal the deal. That means I adhere to the sale and I forfeit my right to cancel. That means this sale, as far as I'm concerned, is final from my side, but you can't stop the other person from canceling. If you both forfeit your right to cancel, then the sale is final without breaking the session. Now, the second one is the guarantee or the warranty. According to Imam Ash-Shafi'i, you can agree to break the sale for up to 3 days. So then this sale is, its finality is pending. Either you will, before the time is up, break the sale, or you will let the warranty expire. Then the sale will be final. Even if you're in the same session, this one does not require breaking the session. According to Ash-Shafi'i, you get 3 days from the agreement, from agreeing to the warranty. And agreeing to more than 3 days, according to Ash-Shafi'i, invalidates the whole sale. Other scholars permit longer warranty, but I don't have any details. And like the first case, either side can request the warranty. If one side requests the warranty and the other one agrees, that does not mean that the warranty is extended to the other side. The only one who gets a warranty is the one who both of them agreed that he can have it. So if both of them agree for one of them, yani, the one who's buying, for example, says, I'll buy it from you, but I want a warranty to be able to return it in 3 days if I want to. So if the seller says, I accept, then the buyer is the one with the warranty, not the seller. But the seller can say, I accept and I want the same. And then the seller can say, I accept. And then the buyer can, if he wants, before 3 days are up, he can come back and say, here, take your money and give me my stuff back. And that's it. That's simple. Any question here? Then the third way to be able to force the cancellation of the sale is to discover a defect. What is the defect? The defect is that does not function properly. Yani, malfunction. Or it's incomplete. Like it's supposed to be 12 and it's only 11. Or it's supposed to weigh so much and it weighs less. Or, yani, Could be incompletes, missing some, or even yani could be too much in a way that it doesn't function properly, for example, or it is cheaper than it's supposed to be. That's what's going to make someone's, as they say, bootleg product defective for the one who doesn't know. So someone thinks it's that he's buying something that should have certain value, certain quality. And it does not have that. Yani, it's cheaper than it's supposed to be, for example, then this is a defect itself. Now, what is the judgment of selling something defective in the first place? Selling something defective is not haram if informed. Like some people, they do sell defective things, like defective clothing, and they tell you these socks are defective, these pants are defective, and therefore it's going to have cheaper price. So there's nothing haram here. In this case, it's like it's not defective because he told you. Now it's like it's normal. Unless there's a different defect that's not supposed to have. And but what if someone did not inform of the defect? Then the sale is valid with a sin. Valid with sin without informing. Without informing the buyer of the defect, the sale is valid with a sin. What does it mean to say the sale is valid? Sale is valid means valid sale means what? Ownership transfers. The ownership transfers. That's what it means to say sale is valid. That's why in the example I gave you of the one who ordered the food and left before, yani he ordered the food and he paid for it and then left before the food was prepared. He invalidated his sale and then he came back in and he said, that money's still mine. I'm just going to redo the contract with you. Keep it in your register. That money that's mine in your register right now, I'm paying that to you for the order that I made for you. Because it was not valid, so the ownership did not transfer. Valid sale means ownership transfers. What belonged to the seller now belongs to the buyer, and what belonged to the buyer now belongs to the seller. Okay. So selling a defective item without informing the buyer of the defect is a valid sale, but with a sin. And if you were to ask, how is it valid? The answer is because it's permissible for the buyer to accept the defect and keep it. Had it not been valid, it would not have been permissible. For the buyer to accept the defect and keep it, the buyer would have had to say, this sale was invalid. The ownership did not transfer. This still belongs to the seller, and the money I gave him still belongs to me. I cannot accept this. That's what it would mean if it weren't valid. But we know that he can accept that defect after he discovers it. And therefore, it is a valid sale, but it was haram for the seller to sell it without informing the buyer. Okay. So if you discover a defect, you can cancel the sale. How would you do it? First of all, it must be done immediately. Immediately, that means as soon as you discover the defect, you must take it back. As soon as, that means like drop everything and go. Not drop everything. If you were praying, finish your prayer. If you were praying when you discovered the defect, finish your prayer and then take it back. If the store is not open, wait for the store to open. If you're eating, finish your meal. And if you are taking it back immediately, you don't have to run. You can just go there at a normal pace. But what's meant is that you cannot delay. We're going to say that finishing your prayer is not delaying. Finishing your meal is not delaying. You just get something that you're already doing out of the way, and then you take care of it. Have to get off of work? Get off of work first, and then take it back. But don't delay and then take it back. You will lose the right to cancel. And don't say, well, they don't know when I discovered it. They don't know I discovered the defect 3 days ago and I was able to come 3 days ago and now I'm coming now because they didn't know. La, because you fear Allah and Allah knows you and He knows that it's not valid for you now to cancel this sale because you procrastinated. Now the sale is final. So it is your God-fearingness that will prevent you from now cheating, from now engaging in what would be cheating. And you're going to accept this defect that you have. You should have taken it if you wanted to break the sale. And therefore, like I told you before, since there is in the religion a way to cancel the sale without the acceptance of the other party, do not have a policy, you Muslim who has a store, do not have a policy of no refunds. What is this? Where is your religious evidence for this policy? Do you have a hadith that allows you to break the right of the session or the guarantee or return for a defect? You do not. If you don't want to agree to the warranty, you don't accept. Okay, this is the most thing you can say. Say no warranty if you want. Don't say no refund, say no warranty. That means as soon as you leave, the session is over. Now the sale is final. Now you cannot get a refund. What? Unless there's a defect. If there's a defect, then you must honor the religious judgment and return that person's, cancel the sale. You can't say to him, I will not give you your money back. I will only exchange it for you. You do not have the right. This one has the right to cancel the sale. I told you I went to a Muslim store and I bought a khimar, a girl's khimar, and it has a decorative flower on it as part of it's not a real flower. It's made of material. Turns out that flower is glued on. And the glue used, it's horrible. The whole thing was stuck, just for the woman to put her head inside. It needs to rip the gluing apart so her face can appear from the opening. And doesn't look nice, leaves a stain on the other side. Who wants that? So when I discovered the defect, I told him, I took it back to him. I said, brother, look at this. I want my money back. He said, he pointed to the sign. Look here, brother, says no defect, says no refunds. So I talked to him. He did not accept. He would not give me my money back. He will only exchange it for me. And all of those like that, they have the same problem. I told him, you are selling defective items. Subhanallah. Wallahu alam. Any question here? Ameen wa fikum. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك لا إله إلا الله اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم ربي اغفر لنا وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات. Ameen, ameen, ameen. May Allah guide us to do the right thing when it comes to it. Ameen. Barakallahu feekum. See you next week, inshallah.